Hi, my name's Amanda, and when I was only 5 years old, my mom passed away. I'm 15 now, and I'm really protective of my dad. For years, it was just me and him. But eventually, he met someone at work, and they got married. Now I have this stepmom, Sally, and she gets on my nerves a lot. She's super sweet to my dad, but there's something about her that just seems fake. Recently, we went on vacation, and Dad said my boyfriend Joe could come too. One day, my dad took Joe fishing, and Sally and I stayed at home. I decided to lie out on the patio, and I must have dozed off in the sun, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up, and Sally wasn't there. I was about to go inside and look for her when I heard her voice. She was on the phone, and I could hear her giggling. I suddenly felt really curious, so I stood up and tiptoed towards the door. As I got closer, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She was saying that she loved this person, and that she'd sneak away tomorrow to come see him, whoever this man was. Then it hit me. For the past few days, ever since we'd got here, she'd been leaving really early in the mornings to go for a run. I felt sick. She was cheating on my dad. An hour later, my dad and Joe came back. I asked my dad if we could go for a walk before dinner. He seemed so happy from his day of fishing, and it killed me to break him like this, but I had to tell him. I started crying as I described what I'd heard Sally saying, but my dad just laughed. He said that she was probably just speaking to a friend. It made me cry even more when I realized how innocent my dad was and how much he loved and trusted Sally. He didn't believe she was capable of cheating on him. I wouldn't let it go, though. I kept telling him she was a cheater, and he got angry with me and stormed off. He was choosing Sally over me, and this made me feel so annoyed. I tried to forget about it, but Sally's words on the phone just kept crossing my mind. The next day, Sally, of course, went for her run, and when she came back, I asked her if she would take me to the store, since I wanted to cook dinner for everyone that night. As we got to the supermarket, I felt really nervous. I told Sally I wasn't feeling so well, and would it be okay if I stayed in the car? Sally said that was totally fine, and off she went. As she was walking across the parking lot, a man came up behind her and grabbed her purse. He was wearing a mask, and he was so quick. Sally started screaming for help, and I jumped out of the car and tried to help her. One of the security guards tried to chase after the man, but he was just too fast. Sally was hysterical, and we quickly drove home so she could tell my dad what happened. As my dad comforted Sally, Joe came home. We went straight up to my room, and as he took off his jacket, out fell Sally's purse. Our plan had worked. Joe and I looked at each other and just smiled. Nothing in that purse was important except for her phone. Luckily, it had no password. We found tons of photos with her and this other man on it. There was even a photo of them together from that morning. I felt sick. How could she do that to my dad? I knew what I had to do next. I waited until Sally was in the bath, and then I went straight to my dad and showed him her phone. He started sobbing and then reached out for me and pulled me in for a hug. He said he was so sorry he hadn't believed me. He just didn't think Sally was that kind of a woman. He said he felt like a total fool because she played him like a fiddle. Joe and I felt sorry for him. Thankfully, Dad wasn't even angry that Joe and I had come up with such a crazy plan to get the evidence. He was just glad he hadn't called the police to report the case. I could see he was in shock, and as he headed towards the bathroom to confront Sally, Joe and I went back upstairs to pack. There was a lot of shouting and tears that night, but I'm just glad I could help my dad find out the truth. What do you think of this story? Please feel free to share your comments and thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.